As well as that, the Slark is going to enjoy just stealing agility while that Legion Commander gets a duel off and just stealing that permanent agility as well. So it all kind of works together. Geek Fam already have plenty of disable for it though. I mean, you've got the boat, you've got the ice path. Now you've got an OD who can just astral and ensure the duel victim is just going to be safe throughout all of it. And I like this opening from Geek Fam. It's very confusing because now there's a mid OD and you've got 3 other heroes that could also potentially be mid. So how are they laning this?
It's a toss-up, right? They've got so many ways to run these lanes. It's actually really interesting they go with the OD instead of anything else. I'm not sure how to feel about this one. If they're gonna go with mid Invoker, then surely it's a safe lane OD for Raven, which can work. But then I feel like you're gonna run into the issue of timing. Timing's gonna be the big thing. The OD Raven does take some early skirmishes, but the OD doesn't become that effective, especially in a shared lane like the side lanes. Takes a bit more for him to come online, and you're going to be relying on your Invoker and the Kunkka and the Jakiro to get these team fights going. Of course, that doesn't stop Raven from joining in, and I'm sure he will be useful to an effect, but I am much happier with RR's draft. It's so much more straightforward. You have so much more to scale off of. Your timings are kind of all in the same area. Pretty early spikes. The Slark does carry you towards that late game. It's going to be interesting to see what does go on here. Reality Rift actually bans out the Gyro. So do they believe this is going to be an offlane Invoker?
Perhaps? Or still the
Or a
pause
support
4?
Invoker? Yeah,
It,
with the Kunkka offlane for Cuckoo doesn't sound outlandish, to be frank. Like, that is something I can see them running.
Akuku
But
did
again,
run it
Sepher.
yesterday.
Yeah, but Sepher Invoker, like, I don't think he did a bad job, but the hero is just so hard to play in POS 4. You know, you just need a farm, you need the EXP. There's only so much you can do, no matter how good the player you are, if the hero just refuses to do what you want because you lack gold or EXP.
Geek Fam. Final pick, it will kind of reveal to us what's going on here. Is it going to be a POS 1 coming out? Is it going to be another support? Is it going to be... God forbid we see another mid come out. Then we're really lost. Who needs supports anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Oh! Okay. Well, now I'm really confused, John.
All
What
right.
is happening?
I want to say this is okay. Safe lane OD for Raven, mid lane Invoker for Yoya, and this is the hard one. Like, I say these, but I don't feel comfy saying these things. You know, it's like in. I honestly feel like they might just throw Sepher in that Invoker again,
Yeah, so...
and Sepher Invoker along with the Jakiro for Dubu. So the OD on safe. No, the OD in mid, and no, but the OD on safe is the only thing that makes sense because you can have Kunkka mid or Pudge mid, or although it's likely to be.
Well, the
I
PUD will
think
probably
Kunkka
be
mid.
off.
Yeah, the Pudge off exactly. So that is how I see it. It's such a strange draft. I don't know how to feel about that. They're playing with experimentation again when they're down one game, and they'd want to secure their spot in the upper half of these qualifiers.
Perhaps this is a strat that they've run many times. You never know. I mean, you'd
Perhaps
assume that you'd assume they've practiced the draft.
one would assume that. And yeah, an ECTA coming out here. You should be able to get a lot done. Of course, we saw Alacrity do so much last game. Up against Ryoya, he
Raven
should have
Punch.
a
So position 1 Pudge.
uh uh uh
Go on, John.
uh
Explain this to me, John. How is it a position 1
no,
Pudge?
nah, nah.
No
There's no
idea.
explaining this, Mike.
Okay, well, fair enough. Offlane Conquer it is. Zephyr indeed on the Invoker. Ryoya on the mid OD.
Raven Pudge.
I mean, he's going to be super tanky, assuming he gets some kills and gets some
Yeah,
farm.
but Raven Pudge, like this is your response to the Luck Slark? To the KYXY Legion Commander. to Alacrity's Templar Assassin. Like, I mean, you can get a lot done with a Pudge. Pos 1 farm, the hero just doesn't farm well. Like, he really doesn't. I mean, he's a tank. The way he's played now is focusing on his tank, or of course, the classic way of focusing on the Rot Slow or the Hook. But none of that is good for farming. Like, Rot early on, if you're going to go for it to clear out waves, hurts you so much more. Because you don't have any magic resist unless you level up Flesh Heap. And I am just flabbergasted. We have Zephyr Invoker again, of course. This lineup is just screaming greed to me, Mike. We've seen this before. EXP is the biggest issue. Not even gold. Like, Pudge probably doesn't need too much gold to be effective. But EXP is going to be the major issue. You need so much pumped into Zephyr. And so much pumped into your Pudge. Your Jakira is probably the one that can get pretty shafted and be just fine. But this is going to be a wild ride for Geek Fam. If they make this work, then I'm frankly just going to be shut up. Just going to shut up. You know, I'm just never going to comment in this game. This specific game, I'll just erase it from my mind if it works. Because it's too mind-blowingly amazing if it does run. They are already tipping Raven. So this is their ace in the hole. Raven Pudge apparently must be godlike. It better bring me back to the days of Navi Dendi.
Don't bring that up, John. It makes me very upset.
It does make me upset as well. It's been years, Mike, and it still kind of makes me sad.
Living legend, sir. Raven. Gonna say hello. Ara, I imagine, are probably as confused as we are. Hustler, gonna run up and just want to abuse this Pudge. There's just nothing to be afraid of. It's just the Pudge at level 1. They know this. They just want to get as much harassment as they can get in while they can get it.
30 seconds to battle.
Is he gonna go for... No. Because I thought he was going for Hook into the tier 2. I mean, that's pretty optimistic if he did go for that. I like these deep wards, though. Like, this ward from Reality Rift, watching this side of the map just lets them really play around these runes quite well.
The battle begins.
Oh, 2 for 2 on the Banner Runes, a very even start. Raven's actually swapped up to the top lane. He'll send the Cuckoo Kunkka down to the bot lane. So Raven's going to be playing up against Nuts on the Bane. And what should be Luck on the Slark, but Luck is also perhaps transitioning.
This is going to be interesting. I reckon... Do you treat this Pudge as a POS 1 or as an offlaner? Sure, it's their POS 1 player playing it. They're in the offlane, though. And perhaps they just want to give more gold to Cuckoo. Treat him as the POS 1, and he does play a pretty fantastic Kunkka. But why last pick the Pudge?
Well, my question is, what is Luck doing right now?
I guess they really wanted to confirm the lanes first before committing.
Well, currently a tri-lane up at top lane. So Geek Fam really want to secure Raven's Pudge. And again, if you can find those kills with this tri-lane, the Flesh Heap stacks really will help you out throughout that mid-game. In terms of kill potential, though, like, you've got Cold Snap into Rot. If you get the Jewel Breath off from the Jakiro, I suppose you can slow them down enough that you could reach with the Cold Snap and Rot. Luck can always just pounce away, though, and Nuts have always got the Nightmare available whenever necessary.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to counteract this early aggression that could come out. We do see Raven go for that level 1 Flesh Heap, so nothing too surprising there. Just having that option to... Oh, Dubu runs into Hustler.
Hustler's going after Ryoya. He wanted to go for the toss into the tier 1 tower. He won't get it off Dubu with some nice game sense. Actually realizing that the Tiny may be around, he'll transition to the mid lane. And it looks like he wants to try and harass out Alacrity. Get rid of those refraction charges with the Jewel Breath and the Liquid Fire later on. And I suppose that's one way to do it. Alacrity can always catch up in the jungle, and now Nuts is here. Nuts is in the mid lane with a haste rune.
It's just a party down mid, Mike. This is some classic Southeast Asian Dota. drafts that you don't get, and everyone down mid.
KYXY meanwhile, just man fighting Cuckoo. Cuckoo man fighting back. Generally speaking, as a Legion Commander, you usually don't really lose out on these right-click battles, but it hasn't been so good for KYXY so far because the Tidebringer from Cuckoo just really does hurt. He hasn't been so lucky with that moment of courage either.
Severed.
So first blood goes the way of RR. I'm not sure what to say about this.
Me neither, Mike. This is just... I don't know, I'm thinking about this Pudge, and it's always on my mind. You're a tanky hero, yes. Doesn't Slark enjoy tanky ones? This actually plays right into what RR wants.
At the very least, Cuckoo is having a good time. He's
Yeah.
top of the last hits board, so that's that. Ryoya about to die to Alacrity if he's not careful though. The Sireblades really dishing out a lot of damage towards that OD. They'll both salve up and reset this mid lane. Looks like Nuts cops a bit of damage from Dubu with that Jewel Breath and Liquid Fire. And Hustler actually going to rotate in. Stomp from the Centaur. And Raven, I mean, he is farming. 18 last hits, 4 denies. They may turn on Nuts. Though Nuts is actually pretty darn quick with those brown boots already. They do slow him down with the Jewel Breath. Dubu, he's going to go in with the Rod. Cold Snap is there, but the Avalanche comes out from Hustler, and they're more than happy to fight. Luck just taking all these stats away from Raven. Pounce is there as well. So, I mean, the Tornado connects, but it doesn't matter. Hustler goes down. Dubu is falling pretty low as well, and they'll pick up another. And Luck will just walk out of there.
Yeah, that's 3 stacks of Agi for Luck. I mean, you were talking about the Flesh Heap stacks, Mike, but I'm seeing Slark Agi stacks.
Ooh. Seems like there's going to be a lot of pressure on Ryoya and Cuckoo this game.
There really is. It's down to this OD and down to Cuckoo to really get it hammering in with his Kunkka. But even then, they're actually giving a lot of form to Raven. So it looks like he's going for those face boots, which is pretty typical enough. His first big item is what I'm really curious for. Is he going to go for the blink? Is he going to go for tanky items? Just build like a bristleback, build like an offlaner?
Mid lane. Alacrity. They're really trying to shut this TA down. Hustler, though, is going to rotate around, but now he's been caught out straight away. Hustler will toss in the Jakiro straight to Alacrity, though Dubu is still okay, but now with the Avalanche, they hold him in. Alacrity needs one more right click, and he can't get the Sireblades off. They will find the kill onto Hustler as well. Meanwhile, Nuts does end up finding Dubu. He just rotates down to the mid lane. This mid lane has had more action than any other lane so far.
It certainly has. A lot of rotations coming in and out. Nuts has been really effective on this Bane. He is currently 3-0. So he's done a lot of good work for his team. And he has stacked up. There are some decent stacks here for Alacrity that he's going to be clearing out now. So we are starting to see the point where the TA can just safely clear these stacks out, build up the farm, and escalate from there. It has been a pretty good start so far for Reality Rift. 2-4, less than 1k net worth lead for them. And they are working it quite good. But it's not all roses right now. Again, you have to worry about Cuckoo. He's farming quite well. And Raven is still a big wild card. I'm sure even Reality Rift is still trying to figure that one out.
Nuts. Hold snapped up. Zephyr setting up. The hook will be there from Raven. It does land nicely. Straight into that Dismember. This should be the first Flesh Heap stack coming out. Nuts is trying to survive the best he can. Zephyr will take the kill for himself on the Voker. And Raven will go straight back towards that top lane. So
yeah, that's a good start.
That's the strategy, right? Like Tornado into hook.
But did you need a +1 Pudge for that? Like, did you need it to be on 1? Is like the farm priority and The XP priority is just
We can't judge it.
offlane I can get.
We can't criticize it too much yet. Still early game.
Not yet.
We'll give it
still,
10
still
minutes.
somewhat working. I mean, it is somewhat working. He's got his 6, he's got his first kill. His farm is still spectacular.
Cuckoo will end up finding KYXY in the mid, on the bot lane. Dubu was there on the Jakiro. X torrent boat ended up finding the kill. KYXY has hit level 6 as well, but Cuckoo is just completely out-leveling now. Almost at the level 8 mark. And again, there is going to already be a lot of pressure on this Conker to make some work happen throughout this game. So, it's a good start for him. Dubu, though, should get caught out. Nuts is there. Alacrity slows him down. KYXY comes in. Torrent is going to come out from the Conker, but they got the duel off. And Alacrity will be the one to claim the kill on the TA.
Yeah, and that's the first duel win for KYXY, so he is building up some damage. Probably wants a lot more, of course. But this does set him up quite nicely, allows him to trade a bit better. And he should be happy overall. 4-5, less than 1k net worth lead now on the side of Geek Fam. They are finding a lot more farm. We do see Ryoya just eating up a lot of space. And he is building up. This is the smart move from Geek Fam. You are relying on this OD to really get that damage going at a certain point.
Raven wants to go for a hook onto Luck. He knows he's around there somewhere. Luck will show himself now. Raven still making the chase. Hook will not land. A nice dodge coming out from Luck. Zephyr still making the chase. He does have Tornado. The pounce will be there, and Luck should just be perfectly fine now, although he almost turned it around. So 4-5, slight net worth lead to Geek Fam. They are still ahead. The OD Ryoya has been farming very, very nicely, and is probably going to be quite the menace later on. Bot lane though, Cuckoo is in trouble. Alacrity gonna make the chase. Nuts. Cold Snap is there from the Bane. They'll X him up. Press the attack is placed on the Bane. Nightmare dodge on the boat does successfully work, and Torrent has also been dodged.
Ooh. Nuts.
Yeah,
Just
nice place from the
ruining
Bane.
that.
Zephyr. 10-minute bounty room. Doesn't get it. Be a 2-for-2 trade once again.
So it does look like Raven is queuing up a Vanguard first. So he is going for durability, which I guess in a certain way this doesn't really change the Pudge too much from something like the Bristle. It does kind of play the same way if you're running them as ones. The added benefit as well, and I think this might be what made him decide on that Pudge, is the fact that you can keep that Slark in place with a hook even during the Dark Pack.
No, that's a fair point. And Nuts does end up getting taken down by Cuckoo down at the bot jungle area. Yeah, Nuts was trying to get some wards down. Does get caught. Still has been a very slow game so far. And Dubu is going to rotate mid with a smoke. Trying to go after Hustler on the Tiny, who's actually getting quite close to picking up that Blink Dagger. Not quite there yet, but pretty darn close. They may also just try to apply some pressure on that tier 1 mid tower with the Liquid Fire. That is exactly what they do, though there are rotations immediately coming in from KYXY, but Raven already finds him with the Dismember straight into the Macro Pyre. Avalanche is there from Hustler. Toss as well, back to Alacrity. KYXY still alive, still outrunning Raven.
Wow.
Now the side of the Radiant in trouble, though. No, Sanities is going to be great from Ryoya. KYXY also ends up going down to Raven. Alacrity, Ice Path is going to connect Raven. He finds the rot with the Torrent, and Alacrity looks to be in heaps of trouble as the Tornado goes through. Refraction charges have been burnt through, and Raven almost going down, but does pick up another kill. In fact, Dubu picks up the kill, but the Flesh Heap is all that Raven really gives a crap about.
Yeah, that's a wonderful team fight coming out for the way of Geek Fam. They do manage to clean up some big heroes. They might even find Nuts at the tail end here, and it should be an easy follow-up.
Certainly, this member's available anyway. He doesn't need to commit it. And that's suddenly 4 Flesh Heap stacks. So if they can keep getting team fights like that, Raven is going to escalate way too far ahead.
Definitely. They just have to keep this aggression up. You cannot give space to Look to farm up, as well as Alacrity. Because if they do build up, they can still eat through you quite well. This is a good time for Geek Fam. Their power spike is here. They're really quite strong just with the way they are. And Reality Rift, they have to hold out until they get a couple more items. The big one is more than likely Hustler. They've been holding out in this guy. He tends to be a bit more active, but he's saving up for that blink first.
It's very close as well. The Veil will come out now in Ryoya. Bot lane, Cuckoo, X-Boat, gonna be there. HY, well, KYXY does cop it, but he does help around the corner.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Hustler. Looking to find a way into Cuckoo on that Kunkka. They do get a Fiend Script, toss in KYXY. It should be a very easy duel, and he does get it off. An avalanche from Hustler will ensure they can't really punish, although Raven is going to continue chasing. Nightmare onto Raven. Nuts. He does get X'd up anyway. Bring it back straight to the dismember of Raven. Luck, meanwhile, will find Dubu across the map, but Cuckoo will be on a dominating now on the Kunkka. And so that'll make it a 10-7, 3k net worth lead for Geek Fam. So far, so good with this draft.
They really are making work quite well for themselves. So it is a definitely a better run for Zephyr now on the support invoker. He's doing much better. Raven is holding his own on this pudge. In fact, he's working towards Heaven's Halberd next, which is a great response to all the physical damage coming out in Reality Rift. I do like this build-up. His timings have been pretty on point. And it does look like Geek Fam is pretty much aware of what they have to do. They have to win this early. You don't want to extend this too long against the lineup that Reality Rift has, but they have taken a lot more momentum in this map than they did in the first game.
KYXY. Raven in position to hook. He wants that bounty. Does throw out the hook. It does find it. They may punish for this. But Nuts couldn't get in range for the Nightmare and did not have Fiend's Grip available. Cuckoo does not connect the torrent either. But that was 4 batteries to the side of Geek Fam. So it's just going to improve the net worth even more for this Radiant side. You can see Zephyr as well on the Invoker now. He's able to find that space to actually get those levels and farm up. And I suppose this is the way they wanted to play that pos for Invoker, where Zephyr could actually get those lanes to farm up in. And so at that point, I can kind of see him being useful in a few minutes, because he is about to hit level 9, and he can actually throw out some abilities for the team.
Yeah, but Look is around. Looks like he wants to try to make a play here.
He does have the Diffusal up as well. Ghost Walk will be ready to go. Nuts. Fiend's Grip. No, not quite. Tornado EMP there. They did pounce. They did leash the Invoker. But Zephyr still running. Nevertheless, there is a Sentry Ward down. Dubu will continue trying to harass. The rest of the team are moving their way up. Raven going to go after KYXY with the Dismember to start off with. But here comes Alacrity straight with a Meld Strike. Boat flies in. They really want, and that Sanity's Eclipse just takes down the LC. Fiend's Grip is there from Nuts, but it's only holding the OD in. It's not doing enough damage to really get anything done on Ryoya. Nightmare will be there. Nuts trying to take down Raven, but the deny does come out from Raven. Still, Hustler comes in, cleans up the OD. Cuckoo does end up getting Nuts in the end. And ultimately, Reality Rift do end up winning out that team fight.
That is the one thing they were waiting for this entire time. That blink on Hustler. Him coming in at that moment, revealing that blink, turned that fight on its head. And their patience in the execution there really pays off in the end. Unfortunate for KYXY, he didn't manage to use that duel. But overall, you're going to be very happy with that trade. You find some really good kills. You force the deny out on this Pudge. And you are slowing down Ryoya just a bit. He was building up quite a fair bit earlier on. This is something you have to keep in check. Looks like he is rushing that sheep stick. So once that's up, that's a massive amount of control going the way of Geek Fam as well.
Raven. Keeping that back down bot with Cuckoo. Cuckoo scouting out for an X attempt. He won't find one. Alacrity really starting to get up there and farm as well on that TA. Already top of the net worth board. Hustler. Well, he might want to go for a smoke, but nobody's really holding one. Does buy one though. We'll bring it out on the courier. In bot lane, they know Dubu's there somewhere as he did drop that macro pyre. They won't really just chase for the support though, it looks like. Though KYXY would love that dual damage. And actually, they do scout him out with the trap. Alacrity can't cancel the TP. They need Hustler to blink forward an avalanche. He does not.
Yeah, it's a bit of a missed opportunity. They should still secure themselves a tier 1 for free. Decent amount of gold and map control going away, although they spot out the Slark.
Gonna be a big pickup if they can find it. And well, he does try to get forward though. Here comes Hustler. Avalanche toss is there. Straight onto Ryoya. Cops a lot of damage. Though boat from Cuckoo as well. Turning it around. RR, they're starting to get into a bit of trouble here. Hook straight on the Slark. Raven, he finds it, but he kind of helped him out there. Meanwhile, Cuckoo copying these right clicks from Alacrity. KYXY still going on to Zephyr. Hustler gets Ryoya on the OD. Zephyr somehow survives. Now they're in the Roshan pit for some reason. And Hustler's ran out of there. He's got the X though. Raven has this member. They'll clean up the kill, but Hustler, still, he found the OD. He's not going to mind dying like that.
Definitely so. It's worthwhile. You managed to take out that OD. You also got the lookout. It looked like a pretty rough fight, but there's an immediate smoke from RR. They understand everything was blown there. They can go in and try to find a kill.
Straight into the mid lane. They're gonna spawn out Raven. Not the kill they wanted to go for. Raven, he starts with the dismember. Tornado completely whiffed. There's the duel coming out. They want the punch first. They'll find the punch as well. Zephyr, he gets pounced on. He'll go into the ghost walk. Where's the detection? They
only have sentries.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a massive loss. A massive waste opportunity there. Zephyr getting away with the tail of its life because sentries are all they had. Unfortunate for RR, they still find their big kill in that fudge, slowing down that cost 1, and they might find even more as Cuckoo is stuck here.
Avalanche toss. It's a nice one. Luck does not pounce though.
Playing it safe.
And he's a pretty hard target for Kunkka. He did have boats still available. Problem is, Cuckoo's about to pick up a Radiance. That's going to make him a much harder target to take down in these team fights. So things will continue as per usual, 13 to 12. The net worth has just been bouncing between the two teams. RR, they will smoke up once again. Zephyr gonna break the smoke though with the Invoker. They have the dust. Nuts. Rain Saps instead of Nightmare or Fiend's Grip. Zephyr will get trapped up anyway. Should be dead, although nice Tornado. And Ghostwalk again. They get the Fiend's Grip. They'll take him out eventually. He almost got away with that. The 4-man smoke does lead to an Invoker kill. Of course, they would have loved to get a bit of dual damage out of that, but I believe they just didn't want to waste any more time. They just get rid of him.
It's a fair move, right? After all the struggles you have against Zephyr, you don't want to let this guy slip by anymore.
Ryoya now will pick up the Scythe of Vice up on the OD. Raven has the Heaven's Halberd as well. They look to make a smoke and try to take advantage of these new items. Nara aren't exactly hiding. They're down at the bot lane pushing the tier 2 tower. But they seem to be aware that Geek Fam have smoked up. Nuts.
Oh, nuts.
Gonna be the unlucky target. X'd up, Raven. Just walks in. Nightmare's gone, and Nuts is dead. Raven.
I mean, better him than anyone else. He should be pretty happy. RR not going to be too upset about losing their Bane once again. Raven is looking pretty big. He does have that Heaven's Halberd up. So you have so much in your toolkit to control the Slark. Luke has to be really careful. He needs to finish that BKB if he wants to take these fights now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Mid lane, they're going to start pushing that in. Because it is a fairly easy process when you've got this liquid fire from the Jakiro. Dubu though only has it at level 1. Raven cleans up the tier 2. They'll back off again.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And surprisingly enough, I mean, we question the draft so much, but RR's draft is starting to look a little bit lackluster. They're just not finding the openings they need.
They really haven't. It's down to the fact that the Geek fam, despite the weirdness of their draft, does come in line pretty early. It has been something they have abused quite well. It does take a bit more for Reality Rift to come online, but once you reach past the point, they will be doing a lot more. Now, you just have to hold out in that one. The question is, can they?
Mid lane, nice Nightmare boat. Does connect though, Raven with the hook as well. They dismember straight away. Still, Fiend's Grip will save at least KYXY for now, but he still should be dead and is gone. Nuts. He's used to this by this point. It's not easy to get away. Cuckoo has the X, hook thrown out, Raven doesn't connect. Nevertheless, Nuts tries to survive this, but the sight device there from Ryoya. And for some reason, Zephyr was in the base of the Dire. Does get taken down by Alacrity.
Radiant's bottom tower is
But still, they found 2 kills that they were looking for, and they'll back off once again.
Should be fairly happy with that trade. Support for a core end support ends up being much better for Geek fam overall. Reality Rift is still finding space though. Luck, once again, still working towards that BKB. He's not going to be showing himself until he has that security. He knows the Hex is up. He knows the Disarm's up. He needs that immunity to allow himself to take these fights. I believe we do have Alacrity's BKB just about ready. Working on that Ogre Axe next, just about 700 gold. And once that's up, they're going to be really set to take these fights. So, just waiting for these big items to come out before RR can take this fight again.
Geek fam, top tier 2 tower, now going to be under siege. And it's going to be a very easy siege at that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Nara. Bot lane. Oh, they found the Slark. There's the side device. Zephyr with the cold snap and Raven with the hook. 11 flesh heap stacks. 25 minutes in. This is getting scary because once Raven hits that level 25 mark, that +2 strength per flesh heap stack, that's the scary part.
I think it's much stronger to go for Dismember. Along with a BKB, you can do a lot more holding one guy down for a very long time. Flesh heap stacks, you can only get so much from your strength, right? It's at some point, you're just giving Slark much more chances to steal Agi and build him up. He could get 60 from just trying to right-click you down. But Dismember, it's always going to be valuable. Plus 3 seconds, that's a 6-second channel. It's basically like a discount Bane at that point. Just holding someone down for a very long time on a much shorter cooldown. So a lot of utility from that 25. Of course, it remains to be seen. There are some situations where the Flesh Heap strength is pretty good, but I think the consensus overall for Core Pudge is Dismember, because you're going to have a BKB anyway. Might as well get that amazing control on top of that.
Well, the Slark, speaking of BKBs, does pick one up now, so 10-second charge available on Luck. He's going to be able to team fight a lot easier now. Dismember still is going to go through it though, so they have the control available. But as well as that, Ryoya, with the sight device, can just catch him off guard before the BKB even pops up. There will be a smoke-on-smoke situation. Geek fam gonna run straight into Alacrity. They grab the Bane Hustler. He gets sight device to Sanities. He just blows them up. The jewel's there on the OD, but what does it matter? KYXY gets the victory, but he's dead as well. Luck is trying to fight this out. Hook onto Alacrity once again. Raven still going. Ice Path from Dubu. The buybacks are out from RR, and Geek fam will happily back out of there. They'll lose Zephyr. Dubu somehow TP's out on the tree line. Cuckoo is out as well in the Kunkka, and Raven's the only one left. they'll leave him be, and instead they'll try to take advantage of these buybacks and go for the Roshan play.
That was a pretty topsy-turvy fight overall. Geek fam not going to be too upset about that. They get some nice kills, force the buybacks out. In fact, they're forced to buy back as well, but not quite in time as the Rosh does fall. So you have that. Roshan going the way of RR. They're going to be very happy having that Aegis in their disposal.
Certainly going to help them out a bit. Still, I mean, that buyback on Zephyr, bit of a waste for him. He's kind of close to his spirit vessel at that point. We'll have to hold out on it again. Raven, looking at him, going to be going straight into the Aghanim Scepter on the punch, which is quite intriguing, but I do love the hook on that short cooldown. KYXY, tornadoed up. Raven, hook, doesn't connect, but the X is already there. KYXY gets, well, 4-star forward. In fact, Hustler protecting him. And Alacrity now going to jump in straight onto Cuckoo. They have the boat available, but Raven doesn't want to fight. X up, again on Alacrity. Ice Path through to Dismember. They'll turn around onto KYXY. Hook as well. Boat lands. They'll take down the LC, but Hustler is controlling everyone else up. They'll find Ryoyo and they'll find Dubu. Now Raven, what do? You TP, but the Nightmare is there anyway. And so Raven, it's going to be a slow death, but it will be a death nonetheless. He does go down. Luck picks up the kill. Will take all the gold for himself.
Yeah, it's starting to turn a bit here for RR. Those BKBs have been helping out in these team fights, and suddenly you lose a lot of that effectivity from Geek Fam's draft. Again, you are riding off the back of a POS 1 Pudge, which does still maintain utility into that late game. Don't get me wrong, he still is quite good. It's a BKB piercing stun. It's a BKB piercing repositioning tool. It's always going to be powerful, but you have to consider the damage coming out. You are riding off the back of only the OD. So again, as we go in, Ryoyo is going to be dealing majority of that damage, and when you can blow him up like that, yeah, well, you just kind of lack any way of dealing with Alacrity and luck.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is
Alacrity
under attack.
really taking advantage of that little win. Taking that mid tier 2, goes straight after that top tier 1. They'll leave it to the creeps. Like, never mind. Alacrity will come finish it off. He still has the Aegis, so he's still feeling very, very confident to keep moving forward. They will back off. They'll grab some boundary runes though. Then back to the jungle. Hustler actually going for a Yule Scepter now on the Tiny, which is not something you see every day. But the utility never hurts.
It also helps in case you need to dodge some big spells. You don't want the EMP hitting you, so a lot of use in that. If you can, kind of just spam it out before it hits you. I don't mind this at all coming out from Hustler. It feels like they don't lack damage for the most part, at least not at this moment. It certainly feels like they just need to hold out in that first wave of damage coming out from Ryoyo. Try to find a way to not die from the Santies. And if you can do that, you can certainly ride out the rest of the team fight.
Looks like this Tiny Illusion actually scouting out where Geek Fam are. There is a smoke coming out from RR as well. They jump straight up Dubu. Going to be the easy target for Alacrity. He does pop his BKB and he's going to have to go for more now. There's Ryoyo Hustler with the avalanche toss. Hook out from Raven. He will dismember. The Tiny is in a bit of trouble, but there's that Yule's coming in handy. They'll find the OD. Hustler does go down, but now you might lose your position 1 punch. They will, at the very least, use that Halberd on the TA, but the chase is still going. They have the Dismember. Now the Jewel goes down as well onto Cuckoo. They'll change their mind. They leave the punch. They take the Cooker down instead. And it's another 3-for-1 trade for RR. They are certainly online now. And I suppose this is that point where the position 1 punch, again, just looks really weird.
It really does. It's, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot that Raven can contribute in these team fights. But beyond that, like say he gets the hook, he dismembers one, he doesn't do anything after that. It's really, again, the targeting from RR has been on point. Taking out that OD straight up just ensures that they pretty much win this. They do lose out in the Aegis, it does expire, but you're not going to be too upset as RR. You managed to get yourself a good amount of gold your way. You're getting control back. You're building up. You should, well...
What is
nice timers there. Timers and I believe buyback tracks. I think that's the game. I'm not sure. But yeah, interesting.
Indeed. Alright, 4K net worth lead now for them. You look at that win probability, and it was all Geek Fam's way. It has gone the way of Reality Rift now at the 53%. Just come their way the first time this game. Geek Fam, they are still in a very good spot to try and push this back, but where's the damage? Raven, he has the Aghanim Scepter up now. So you've got that that 4-second cooldown hook, so you can't just continuously spam that out. It is a lot of pure damage, right? 450 damage every 4 seconds from Raven. Pretty darn nice.
I do see a few issues with that. I think eventually he's going to run out of mana really fast because there's a Diffusal on his Slark. So he can't just eat through that quite quickly. And Hook is not a cheap spell. It's 140. Pudge does not have the biggest mana pool. So it's still amazing. But I don't know, we just have to see it a bit more in practice, although this could
X
be an
onto
easy kill on
Alacrity.
Alacrity.
X, Dismember, he doesn't have Aegis, but Hustler goes in with the Avalanche, cancels the Dismember, BKB up from Alacrity, he needs to get out of there as they do halberd him up, but now he'll turn around, boat flying through as well, KYXY, he'll cop that one, another hook comes out, Luck pounces out of there as well. It looks like they'll leave the LC. Hook to go out. Hustler, Avalanche toss onto Ryoya. They want to go back in. Luck, he'll jump in with his own BKB, but gets altered through it by the Pudge. Ryoya is still okay, but Alacrity now jumps back in as well. The OD's gone. Raven, who does he go for? He wants the TA, but the Avalanche holding him back though. No, he does find it. Luck still right-clicking away, stealing all these stats from this Pudge. Hustler, he's in trouble now. He uses himself up. The hook onto Nuts will find the kill, and Raven, he just keeps going. The man never dies. Luck bounces away. Raven actually has no mana left now, but they get the X off onto Luck. The Ice Path is there. He Dark Packs away. Raven needs some mana for the hook. He won't have it. But a 2-for-3 trade. Geek Fam do win out once again.
It's a pretty tight one at that. They did lose Ryoya. Overall, they are going to be happy for that. A core and a support for 2 cores and a support. Not bad in their books. And it's really not a bad move at all, although...
Hustler, Avalanche toss. Cuckoo was already BKB'd up. Torrent will connect. Perfectly placed by Cuckoo. A nice X after the 4 stuff. You can X him back though. No, Hustler used it off. Raven with the hook though. Luck will just man fight this. He BKB's up. No Dismember available on Raven. He doesn't have mana anyway. Ice Spot though is nice from Dubu. So they will go back. They'll reset. I mean, you look at Luck, he's right-clicking away as much as he can on this Pudge, but the Pudge is just not ticking down in HP.
He needs a Basher. He just needs a Basher to keep that Pudge in place. He moves quite fast, and Rot slows you down a fair bit. That's the reason why Raven can reposition himself quite well. Look is going for that Scotty, which kind of does that job of slowing the Pudge down a bit more consistently. I think you'd be better off with a Basher into Abyssal. But the stats are nice. It does boost up your damage just a bit as well.
Raven's almost at that level 25 mark now. He's 23 right now. Has got 4.5k HP. I'm still very curious as to what talent he does opt for. As with 19 Flesh Heap stacks already, definitely does beg the question. Hustler came in for a moment, but backs off. Geek fam, looks like they are just going to try and secure some farm on Raven. Perhaps even go for a smoke. But RR are the ones that actually smoke up first. And Luck going to try and bait out the side of Geek fam. X will be there on Raven. Pretty short X though. Hook, blindly thrown out. Nightmare, Hustler. Uses him up. Raven is not the best target to try for first though. Hook will land on Alacrity. It's a very nice one at that. They'll X him up again. Sight device. Where's he going? Hook again onto Nuts. The Bane gonna survive as Luck jumps in. Dubu, Ice Path is great though with the torrent from Cuckoo. Now the boat flies in. Nuts is down. They are going to try for the Kunka, but he takes no damage. Now the hook out once again, but that time it was the OD. The Ice Path Luck, he'll pounce out of there. Hustler wants to get out as well. Another hook coming out from Raven. He's going to end up binding the TA this time. And Cuckoo's looking for more with his X. Who does he opt for? They have the Tiny around. They're going to get another kill Raven with the hook. And it looks like they find the LC, and that was not the jewel you wanted. This is an absolute. This has turned into a clown fiesta, John.
It certainly is. This is not the way RR has envisioned it. This is some really awkward positioning from Alacrity, I'll have to say. He's always being caught out. He's not dodging these hooks, and it's costing RR so much in these fights. You're going to lose out in the Roshan now. It isn't as fast as you'd want. It is still going to fall. That is the Aegis and Cheese going the way of Geek Fam. That gives them a lot more to work with. You take a look at RR. Look is actually working on a butterfly next, so that should give him a little bit more damage, at the very least a little bit more right click to start stealing more Agi stacks. And that might help the cause. I still think he needs a basher, because everyone's just running away from him. Everyone just gets spells off. They don't have the best lockdown, especially once you blow the single target on Nuts and the AoE on Hustler, and that's it. They don't have any particular follow-up in a big team fight. So at the very least, maybe you could just lock someone down yourself without relying on your supports. Nonetheless, Butterfly is up. Looks like he is working towards that Satanic next. And this is the point where I take a look at the Slark. And I wonder, right? At level 15, you have a lifesteal or attack speed talent. A lot of people go for the attack speed for that early power spike. I think it's at this point in the late game where you look back and wonder if you'd be better off with a lifesteal and having a free slot. Because with that free slot, you could go for much more utility or much more survivability beyond just raw lifesteal. They say Satanic is great in Slark, but it doesn't necessarily boost up his DPS. So you're still going to run into that problem that we've seen, where the damage output just isn't coming out fast enough.
Look at Raven. He's got 5k HP, John. He's about to hit 25. I still think he's going to go for the left side talent.
He does.
He does. Doesn't really gain that much though. I was kind of shocked. I thought he would get a lot more. He goes up to 6k, which is still pretty impressive. Doesn't bother with the Dismember. Has Octarine Core up now as well, so now the hook is a 3-second cooldown. Dismember's going to be 15 seconds of a cooldown. This punch, not going to be a very easy target to kill now. Hook, blind, will not connect. Other hook, will not connect. He does have a cheese at the very least to reset the mana as well. That will be very effective in this next team fight whenever it does start.
Ryoya? Look? Oh. That was scary.
This is out on Hustler. They'll take the final shrine off the map for RR. RR just seemingly not really aware of how to take the next team fight, because everything just becomes havoc once it begins. Zephyr gonna move in on the Invoker. Hook. Not connect. They put him in the Nightmare. Preemptive torrent comes out. Do they even bother with the punch? Raven gonna start moving forward. There's the hook. Who have they caught out? It was KYXY on the Legion. Still, Alacrity straight on the OD. Ryoya, he's in a bit of trouble right now. He needs some help. Alacrity's still going and they get the Aegis. Luck gonna take after Cuckoo. And Dismember is there on the TA. Alacrity, he's starting to fall low. Hook, Sanity's being dropped. Ryoya with a triple. Raven, he gets away with another, and Ryoya has an Ultra.
There's no buyback on Alacrity. They only have buybacks on 4 of their heroes, but their main damage beyond the Slark isn't going to be up.
Raven, are you going to start fountain hooking? Not quite. Alacrity does now have buyback. Is it really even possible to come back in this game now, I wonder? This Tornado does land on KYXY and Hook barely misses. Quick little save there from Hustler. Hook, he does find the tiny bit of toss back into the tier 4s. He doesn't care though, John. He just dismembers. Cataclysm coming through. They get the jewel off. How do you kill him though? They'll just keep attacking, keep hoping and praying. The Ice Path connects. Raven's still alive. Dismember is going to be available in 2 seconds. He's just running for it. Alacrity chases. They astral him up. They keep him alive. Alacrity changes his target. Luck going back with the Dismember. Lincoln's, it blocks it off. Raven's still running. No, the Hook, he turns around. Raven, he's going to survive it. KYXY still running away. Alacrity, Hurricane Pikes, he finally finds the punch, but what's it going to cost? Cuckoo, the buyback is there from the punch anyway. The OD gets trapped up by the Fiend's grip, and Cuckoo still keeps chasing nuts. The punch is back. Kill him a second time, why don't you? KYXY gets hooked. He's dead. A nice hook from Raven indeed. The tip's coming out from Zephyr now. And this game is pretty much over as he finds nuts with the hook as well. Raven, how dare you question the position 1 punch, John?
My bad for having common sense, Mike.
Alacrity trying to juke the hooks out. He can't though. Raven finds him. He tries to Hurricane Pike him back into the fountain, but he gets dismembered.
Oh god, that's one hell of a game to end on for RR. I mean, jeez.
What a game.
Looked rough for Geek Fam at first. They do manage to finally make all of these weird stuff work. Zephyr's Invoker works, Boss 1 Pudge works, and that is a drawn series for Reality Rift. Still gonna be happy with that. I believe that will tie up their score. So there is gonna be a tiebreaker for fourth place, if I recall right. I'm just gonna check that real quick before. Yeah, let's see. Here we go. Alpha X hashtag 022. There's a tie for 4th place. I'm not sure if they're going to break the tie for 4th place. And then, yeah, no, I think based on what happened in Group A, there should be a tiebreaker for 4th place now for Group B. Since Alpha X hashtag has no games, they should be at 2 points each, which means there should be a tiebreaker happening after the next series, Mike.
Well, John, it's going to be an interesting one. TNC versus Signal Ultra, our final series of the night. Of course, I hope everyone's looking forward to this one. It is MLP Dota and John X Fire. We'll be back with you in just a second for the final series very, very soon.